So we have Nero from the Devil May Cry series, but do you know how strong he really is? Let's get into it. Nero is a quarter demon and 3/4 human. His demonic heritage includes Sparta as his grandfather, Virgil as his father, and Dante as his uncle. All three of these characters have incredible feats and power. And Nero? He's no different. Nero is equipped with the Red Queen. This sword is unique in that Nero is able to rev its engine to perform insane combos, and it provides insane power. This sword has even been modified by Nero himself to make it even more powerful. This is the same sword that can clash with the Yamato, which is noted to be able to slice the fabric of space-time itself. The Blue Rose. This is a high-powered magnum that Nero is able to combine his demonic abilities with, and the magnum can do incredible damage to pierce through demonic armor and skin. Nero is also equipped with his right arm being a Devil Bringer. With this arm, Nero is able to do a variety of things, including grabbing enemies from a distance, grabbing large items for throwing, and multiplying the size of it to crush something that Nero has in his grip, even if it's bigger than him. Nero's Devil Bringer is also able to absorb demonic energy. This is shown when he absorbs the Yamato, and it provides him with his pseudo Devil Trigger form as well, which makes Nero much more powerful than his typical base form. We also see him absorb demonic power from Echidna, Kratos, Agnes, so on and so forth in Devil May Cry 4. Now, in Devil May Cry 5, Nero's overall utility grow exponentially for several reasons. So, with Virgil taking Nero's arm, which included the Yamato, he was forced to develop utility that he no longer has. With the thanks of Nico, she was able to develop several different devil arms that have a wide range of utility. The Punchline. This is crafted from the demon Goliath. This propellant injection device is based on the demon's stomach, which was able to pull apart the church that he fought Nero in. Gearion is noted to bend space and time. With this breaker, Nero is able to do it himself as well. How this works is that Nero is able to aim the breaker and shoot a blast of Gearion's power. When it lands, it slows down everything within the radius except the caster, just like Gearion. Finally, with the ability to use his own Devil Trigger, he can also utilize the Devil Breakers we talked about earlier, along with growing back a full arm at will. This makes you wonder if the ability is limited to his right arm because the Devil Bringer used to be there, or if he could completely grow back limbs instantly. Now let's get into the feats along with statements that were made about Nero. He grabbed the Savior by the head and crushed it with his Devil Bringer arm. This same creation was so durable that Dante was unable to pierce it with the Yamato, and Nero crushed its entire head. Now, before I hear that this was a weakened state of the Savior, I would like to point out that it doesn't really matter because when Nero did this, Dante thought to himself that Nero had passed him in power at this point, which is shared in Deadly Fortune specifically. As for speed, when fighting demons at the beginning of Devil May Cry 5, Nero was able to hop out of Nico's van, kill several demons, and hop back into the van before the vehicle landed back on the road after going off its jump. This is without the Yamato and his Devil Trigger, but we have even crazier feats. So for the even crazier feats, Nero is relative to Dante and Virgil when he stopped them at the same time who were clashing in their Sin Devil Trigger forms. Keep in mind they were both weakened heavily, but regardless, to stop both of them at the same time is impressive considering both of them are arguably the most powerful characters in the entire verse. On top of the fact that both of them are in their most powerful forms we have seen. This speed would be even more impressive because of how fast Dante and Virgil are. Oh, you don't know how fast the Sparta Sons are? Well, let's go over it. If you aren't aware, I made a How Strong is Dante video, where essentially I lowballed his speed at around massively faster than light speeds. Then I noted that at the time of creating this video and that video, that the app for Pika Combat hasn't been released to the US yet, so I wanted to reference it, but I didn't want to make it a statement until I get my hands on it. So the Pika Combat does have statements about the speeds of other characters that Dante himself is relative to, which is all well before Devil May Cry 5. Nero can range at a low ball of massively faster than light speeds to immeasurable speeds with peak of combat information. Again, once this game is released, I will play through it and I'll confirm what's out there, and I'll probably make another video on it. To make a long tangent circle back to the original topic, Nero is faster than what I stated in the video, as both Dante and Virgil are in their Sin Devil Trigger forms, which would be past their Devil Trigger forms, which is significantly past their base forms. Along with this, being able to stop these forms would make Nero incredibly powerful as well. as he stopped not one but two of the Sons of Sparta in their most powerful states, which individually are more powerful than Nightmare, who is noted to be able to destroy the infinite or endless size of the underworld, which is nothing in power to someone like Mundus, who was weaker than Urizen, who had eaten a Qlipoth fruit to further amp his ability and was still getting dog-walked by Dante in his Sin Devil Trigger form. And there were two that Nero stopped. There are also notes in Peak of Combat stating that human souls are 9D or 9th dimensional. Keep this in mind as I haven't played this, but like I said, I'm going to take a look, make a video later. But I thought I would share this info because I'm aware of it, and like I said, I'll confirm. Now, for the power scalers out there, you have info on Nero, and stop underrating the boy. On to the fun stuff, the enemies Nero has fought. Burial. Burial is a demon that is the conqueror of the fire hell. This fire is so hot that it melted the bullets from the blue rose in the air, rendering them useless. It's further noted that Burial's flames are bigger and hotter than a regular fire, and that they contain demonic power. It is also further noted that Burial is strong enough to rule over the portion of the underworld called the Fire Hell, and that he was a king. Sanctus, originally a captain of the Holy Knights, being a survivor of the Ascension ceremony and the Vicar in Fortuna, Sanctus was able to use all sorts of abilities like creating a protective shield, flying, sending energy blasts out, and rapid healing. Sanctus has been slashed by Kratos and was able to immediately recover and retaliate. He also got someone like Agnes to submit to his power and had him shaking because of this power, and Nero was able to defeat him. Nero forced Urizen to stand up and start fighting Nero for real when Nero didn't have his Devil Bringer or his own Devil Trigger yet. Urizen was able to previously defeat Lady Trish, Nero himself, and a Devil Trigger, Sword of Sparta, empowered Dante without even having to leave his chair. With this, the Urizen that Nero fought was feeding off human souls for 1 month, meaning that Urizen was even more powerful than the one that they met at the beginning of the game. To go even further into this is Nero with no Yamato, no Devil Bringer, and is using newly manufactured Devil Breakers, meaning that without his buffs and quite literally missing an arm, this Nero is more powerful than End of Devil May Cry 4 Nero, to which I already stated. Dante himself stated that after Nero crushed the Savior's head, that he believed Nero to be stronger than him. This is the same Dante that used the Sword of Sparta in Devil May Cry 1, and with a little help from Trish to send Mundus in between the realms. The same guy that created Nightmare, the being that Mundus himself said to be able to destroy the endless underworld. Artemis. This demon was created by Urizen and used Lady as a host. While this demon didn't have many feats itself, its metaphysical being that V fought and defeated is what's impressive. Metaphysical beings lack aspects of one's existence, but have identifiable traits of existence at the same time and are considered outside of reality, making them above space and time. It's further noted that the original versions of the metaphysical demons we see V fight are noted to be weaker than the original demons, making this feat even more impressive for Nero as he fought a stronger version of Artemis and defeated him with no difficulty. Virgil. Like I mentioned earlier, this was a Virgil in a weakened state, but here's another way to think about it. Devil Trigger form would be Super Saiyan, and then Sin Devil Trigger would be like Super Saiyan God form, which Nero was able to stop both of the Sons of Sparta. Now, before I hear they were both weakened, that doesn't mean anything. I want you to think how powerful it is to, in fact, stop both of them when they were trying to kill each other in their most powerful forms, charging directly at each other with the intent to kill, and Nero himself, in his newly developed Devil Trigger form, was able to stop both of them with one hand each. Now that you know how powerful Nero is, feel free to let me know what I missed, and if you like this content, feel free to subscribe, and I appreciate you, and I will see you in the next one.